On some nights, workers at the Sunrise at East Cobb assisted living facility struggled when they were trying to keep a close watch on the frail, elderly people they had in their care. Keeping the shifts staffed up could be challenging for the managers there because caregivers were leaving to take jobs at nearby medical facilities. They could get more money for working less. And that may be why the director cut a break to Landon Terrell. On the night of August 14th, 2017, Landon Terrell came to work for his overnight shift on the memory care unit. He was put in charge of Adam Bennett's care. That night ended up changing everything for Bennett and his whole family, and it would change everything for Landon Terrell too.
Do you recognize that?
Yeah.
Who was that a photo of?
It's my dad.
As the greatest generation reaches its twilight, many sons and daughters have walked the same path as Christine Hauk. She had moved her dad into what she thought was a top-of-the-line assisted living facility. The Sunrise home was only a few minutes from her house in the Cobb County suburbs. She knew she'd be able to visit there all the time. And she just wanted the absolute best for her dad. And Sunrise offered chef-prepared meals and a building designed to look like a Victorian-style mansion. But at this point, having a really caring staff to help her father around the clock with whatever he needed was what mattered the most to her. At 91, her dad, Adam Bennett, he was a World War II veteran and retired businessman, was no longer steady on his feet. This is somebody who had been an outdoorsman and he loved to go sailing, but at this point he needed help with almost every event of the day. Getting up and dressed, going for his meals, showering, getting to the bathroom.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell the jury a little bit about the living arrangements at Sunrise where your dad was residing?
Sure. He was in the reminiscent care unit. He had some dementia. We chose Sunrise because they have a large staff-to-patient ratio. They had activities. He had a really nice room. The people seemed very attentive when we went and visited. Dad liked it, had windows and it was bright, and so he was part of these the decisions of where to stay.
With a plan that would cost about $6,800 every single month and an additional $1,250 move-in fee, Christine Hauk said Sunrise told her her father would get everything he needed. But more often than most families would imagine, these expensive private pay homes fail, not only when it comes to providing the lavish care that the homes promised. Over and over again, a significant share of these facilities fail to provide even the minimal level of care that state regulations require. When Christine Hauk moved her dad into Sunrise in June of 2017, he was sleeping a lot and he was incontinent at that point. He'd fallen a few times too, but Hauk thought it was going okay at Sunrise. She was there a lot, and when she was visiting during the day, workers would give her reports on her dad and they popped in to take care of his needs. Georgia just requires on-the-job training and basics, things like CPR, infection control, and learning about the special needs of residents with dementia. Even then, the AJC found that facilities in Georgia do not comply with these requirements. Landon Terrell's employment record before he came to Sunrise was blemished, although even Sunrise didn't know how bad it was when it hired him. In March 2016, a home health company wrote him up for falling asleep twice on the job. He got fired from another job for sleeping at work. Another senior home got rid of Terrell after a resident's son reported that Terrell had left his dad in a soiled adult diaper for 5 hours. It's not exactly the type of caregiver Sunrise bragged about on its website. Bennett had been at the home for a month and a half when Landon Terrell arrived for his overnight shift. Hauk had visited with her dad that afternoon, and he was fine. Then, in the dark of night, Bennett made frantic phone calls to his daughter.
I'm dying, Chris. I'm dying. Need help.
Can you tell the jury what you heard your father say?
Chris said, help. I'm dying, said help.
At the hospital, doctors discovered all sorts of physical damage. Adam Bennett's face was bruised in several places. He had 4 broken ribs, a punctured lung, and a damaged kidney. He wasn't able to speak again. 3 days later, Adam Bennett was dead. Cobb's medical examiner ruled Adam Bennett's death a homicide, finding the injuries were consistent with a beating. But Adam Bennett did leave a clue about what happened to him. He pointed to injuries on his face and other parts of his body and told his mourning caregivers, "He hit me. He punched me."
When help finally arrived, he told them what happened. He said he was hit. He said he was punched. He showed them. He showed his jaw.
Land and Terrell repeatedly talked to police, giving them an elaborate story that they didn't think added up. Terrell was charged with elder abuse and elder neglect, both felonies, and murder. About a month earlier, inspectors from the Georgia Department of Community Health had visited the Sunrise facility to investigate 4 complaints. The nature of the complaints is confidential, but DCH reported back that its inspectors found nothing wrong at Sunrise. But after Adam Bennett's death, with a homicide investigation underway, DCH came back, and this time, its review found a host of serious violations.
Count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty of the offense of felony murder. Count 3.
The jury found Terrell guilty on just 1 count, felony elder neglect. One juror explained that a whole cast of characters at Sunrise, not just Terrell, seemed responsible for what happened. Terrell was sentenced to 5 years behind bars. Adam Bennett's daughter and son still struggle with their father's death. They couldn't stop thinking about how afraid he must have been and how much pain he must have endured that night. That was not how their father's long life was supposed to end.